All right, morning everyone. The four-legged boss. Say hi. No, apparently he's already taken a nap because he's worn out from this morning. But the four-legged boss and I are headed to the big woods today to start walking tubing and getting that going over. It's like 27 degrees right now. So it's not terrible. We had a bunch of rain, so all our snow, except for snowbanks from plows, is gone, which is gonna make it easy. But today's one of those days I wish I had one of those pedometers so I could see how far I went, because I think I'll probably walk at least 10 miles today. But I'm gonna go in, get drops changed, check for squirrel chews, get limbs off of lines, basically try and get this tubing system so it's as close to ready as it can be. It's just one of those that you can't find everything. But if I do this, then when I turn the vacuum pumps on, the majority of the problems are taken care of. Changing drops, the section that needs to really be changed is in the middle this year. So I'm gonna start in the bottom, kind of get what I need to get taken care of down there for small stuff, and then go to that middle section last. That way, if I need to make more drops, I can, but I've gotten kind of all the straggling pieces taken care of already. So we'll get over there, we'll get unloaded, and then see if we can get some drops and squirrel chews taken care of today. Come on. No, come. Hey, come. Come. I don't know why he always thinks he's in trouble when I'm putting his orange on him, but Brooksie's got to have his orange on today because it's still muzzle loader season, so we'll keep him safe. But you got to move. I must have ran him over. We did get, I don't know, we probably got 3 inches of rain the other day, so things are going to be a little wet in here, so I'm not going to venture too far off the trails with the four-wheeler, just enough so that I don't have to make 1,000 trips back and forth with arm loads of stuff. But definitely going to be a little muddy in here. When I'm walking laterals, checking, changing drops, that type of thing, I bring a short piece of just lateral line. That's what the blue is. And yes, this year's color is yellow, but I've got a few pink and orange left over from last year. Last year was supposed to be orange's color, but then I ran out of orange pipe and I had a roll of pink, so I just we got to keep going. So I used a roll of pink, but this year's yellow. But I want to use these up. That way I can kind of keep them, you know, straight as to which color's which, because we're not throwing away pipe. But I got a small roll of blue lateral line. That way, if I find a piece that I need to cut out, I've got, I don't know, probably 15 feet of pipe here. So when I'm checking, what I'm doing is I'm just running my fingers along the pipe. I'm just feeling for nicks, squirrel chews, that type of thing. If something's been totally chewed out of it. So it just kind of gives me a once over as to what's going on. The one thing that does kind of mess with you is the ice pockets that are still here on the pipe, as well as pine pitch if you get a pine tree around. Those ones kind of mess with you a little bit. Things don't look too bad. This one's taped with red, and that tells me that something was wrong with it, and I need to look, because my hunch is this one needs to come out because it only needs one tap here. But I gotta check these trees. Yeah, I gotta take this one out. What's going on here is really it's competing with this hemlock that's here, and one side of this is dead. So by putting that tape on last year, because I didn't have my two-handed tool with me, it told me that this one's junk and I need to take that drop out. So the one side's good, but the other one, she's junk. So that one's all set though. Hopefully it warms up fairly quickly, because these ice beads that are on the pipe are messing with my fingers, and I keep having to stop thinking that they're some sort of a chew, even though at this point I'm probably just going to miss a lot, because it all seems like it's not, that it's more so just a piece of ice. This one's got a bunch of bacteria in the end, so we'll swap that one out. We just cut that off because this is a dead end. Get right up next to it as close as we can. And put the new one in. There, that one's ready. I was close to the trail with cutting this one out, so I just threw it out in the trail. That way I didn't have to lug it the whole time. But I think I changed 3 drops in there. Didn't have any squirrel chews that I found, but I'm gonna move up to the next piece and see what we can find up there. Just found I got a lateral down. It looks like this birch that I guess get from right here went across it, and it pulled it off the splice, which is actually probably a good thing, because that was the weak point. It didn't break something else. So I got to check this one anyways and get this one put back up. This spruce tree right here is deader than dead, and it's going to come down and land on tubing, so I'm going to take it down and put it someplace where it won't before it does. That little top handle arbor saw makes it's just way easier to carry that in the woods than it is the big saw. So, and for little stuff like this, it works perfect. But now I don't worry about that thing coming down this maple season. There's a bunch of dead crap right here though that I probably ought to take care of, but not today. So I'm walking up this one, checking this, and I look up and I see the red tape up there on that one that tells me something's wrong with it. So I look up, and sure enough, it's got a junk top on it. So that one's a dead tree. So by that red tape when I was tapping, I was able to give myself a hint for now. So I'm going to take this one out and just make this the end tree. And that's got some crud in it anyways. So I'll swap that to a dead end tee, and then this one will be all set. that one's all set now with a dead end. I'm working along and check this one, go out, go up to the next one, and for some reason I looked back because I was climbing through a top that had fallen down. Looked back and it's like, where did that come from? And then I looked up. Right there. That's the one that came down during that storm last season, and I had to come in and cut the top off the lateral line, but then I cut the lateral line with a chainsaw because, you know, why wouldn't you do that? So this one's junk, but I'm gonna cut it out. But that drop right there, I don't know how I got by that one, and it's all cruddy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten this thing out and then take that out and change that too, so it'll eliminate another bend in the pipe. I ended up having to put a splice in just because of where that other drop was cut in, but then I was able to get it to where now just that stump isn't hooked in, so this piece is better now. The guy that was in here tapping this piece of woods before me had pulled his taps, but somehow he left one of the adapters in for a stubby setup, and the tree grew over it, so I've never got it out, but I've kind of been watching it every year as the tree just kind of grows over it, and it's been quite a thing to see every year. Now it's just starting to come over the front of it. For a few years I was using these adjustable splice things that, well, adjustable connectors I guess, to hook onto main line. That way I figured I could adjust it and take up slack if I needed to, but what I found is that the pipe just slips in them too easy. So this one had that tree had fallen on it, or old branch, and kind of pulled it through, so it was messing with everything. So I took it off and just put a regular hook connector on because I'm done with these. What I'm looking for when I'm trying to decide if I'm going to change these drops is age, like have they aged out like the 5-year mark when I want to change them, or are they all filled with that bacteria film inside, which this dead end tee is. There's a whole bunch of crud in it, so this one will get changed even though it's not quite at the 5-year mark. That's electrical tape, so that tells me that I had a squirrel chew there and no tubing tool one day. You feel the chew right through it, so now I know, take that out and eliminate that problem. There, all better. So this section here is notoriously full of squirrel damage because it's a bunch of softwoods, and it just, every year I fight with this piece. So I'm gonna put a little bit more time in here. Right there, there's a squirrel chew. Nope, that's not pine pitch. To try and get this squared away, because I fight with it every year. I've replaced it a few times because it just wasn't worth fighting with. It doesn't appear to be that bad so far, but that's only one ladder on this section. When I left today, I really wasn't thinking too much, and I didn't pack a lunch. So today, gas station pizza. It's not my usual, but it'll work. Isn't that just luck? I was, I don't know, 100 yards from the four-wheeler, coming down off doing this section on the C system when I was one dead end drop short. So luckily I could see the four-wheeler in it. Not a huge hike, but I've been changing more today than I initially thought I was going to. It just means that it's more fittings and stuff, so I'll probably end up making more drops tonight just because I don't think I have enough. I'm almost positive I don't, so oh well. I'm coming down and I'm at the top of the B system, and it's gonna be my last one because I gotta go get the kids and get them to dance. But come down and there's pine that come down, and somehow it just missed this lateral. But now I'm looking over and I've got one down that broke off like basically right at the tap. So I guess I gotta clean that up. Looks like the tree was pretty well junk anyways. I don't need these over here. There was not much left on that one, keeping that one alive, but luckily it's just the end one, so I'll just pop it off. There, and it's hung up in the top of a big one there. And I'm not messing with that. That'll hang out there for a little while, and then we'll see what happens. It'll probably come off this stump, and then maybe I'll mess with it, but for right now, nope. So I just threw an end hook on that, hooked it on. I didn't change the drop because it's only 2 years old, so it's not ready to be changed yet, and it looks good. So rather than changing out something that doesn't need to be changed, I'll just leave it for right now, and then when something happens or it gets corded up, then I'll change that. But I'll keep going here. All right, back to changing drops. Yesterday I left off and I was trying to finish up the B system, but there was just a little bit more work there than I was anticipating, so I missed it by maybe a third of it, of getting it finished up. So on my way back, I had to get fuel, so I got that in the four-wheeler, headed over there, gonna get up, finish the B system, then I'm gonna jump up top, do the top one because that one got completely changed last year, so it shouldn't take a lot. Then I'm going to work my way down, finishing those up because those are going to need, that's where the majority of them are getting changed, like as a complete change. Last night I made another 100 midline drops and I finished off the bag of dead ends, so I still don't think I'm going to have enough dead ends, but that's all right too. I'll get those, I'll kind of have a count of how many I need on those, but we'll get over here, we'll get these things changed out, and I don't think I'll finish today, but it's going to be close. We'll find out. I just threw that branch off that lateral, and I looked down, I see something moving, I thought, and it ended up there was at least 2 deer, maybe 3, that were bounding through the end of the main line down there by the big ladder. I never even got a look at the head of them. I could see the bodies and just the flags, but they looked like not terrible sized deer. My hunch is probably a doe group though. All the drops are changed on the B system now and C system, so I've just got the A left, and I'm up top. This is A5 now because I changed it. These all got changed last year to orange. The ones that are directly in the sun though, it definitely bleached out compared to the ones that are in the shade. But these shouldn't be nearly as bad because they're only 1 season old, so I should be able to get through these pretty quick. without having to change a bunch. Couple branches that have come down off of some junk tops here on some laterals, but the main's in good shape. But I do still have to change this one and get rid of that ladder down there, but not today. We're gonna get drops done today. Here's one that I marked as having an issue when I was tapping me, and I probably hit a bad spot. But now I'm looking at the tree and it looks to be healthy. It's not showing really any signs of stress. It's got a couple spots that maybe down low, can't tell, but the top looks good and healthy. So I think I'm gonna give this one more year and see. So I'll just remember that if I see that next year, then time to go. I'll put probably a second wrap of tape on, and then that'll mean that this one's junk. But it's way easier having these telltales that when you walk in, they let you know something's up with this tree, and you can take more time to look at it. So we'll see next year. Changing all these drops on a 5-year rotation has really made a difference. I just did, I think this is like 250 here now, or 225 on this run. Maybe 275, I can't remember. I changed 4, and some of that was bad trees. So the bacteria counts, you can definitely tell, are lower in this newer drop pipe than on the 5-6-year-old pipe. Actually, some of it's not even that old. But 2-year-old pipe, you can see a difference in the amount of bacteria that is in these drops. So keeping sap yields up, that's really the important part. When I'm cutting the drops out, what I'll do, especially if I'm changing a bunch, I just throw them to the center along the main line, and then I just have to do one walk down and one walk back, picking up the junk ones that are laid here. That way I don't have to lug them the whole way, because a handful of good ones and a handful of bad ones just gets cumbersome. But it's pretty nice this time when you only have to go halfway, because that's all that there is, was 3 or 4 of them. But this one's done. We'll move up. The next run, I think that's A4. That one was swapped out last year too, and then it's just A1, 2, and 3 that I'm really gonna hit hard, and even some of those have been changed pretty regularly in the last few years. So fingers crossed, I should be able to get this done today, especially after getting through this. I mean, I don't think I was an hour and a half and I had this one done, so let's get going. So this one is all chewed, and I think it was down last year or something, but it's full of chews, and it's real bad right here by this drop. So I'm gonna take and swap out probably to here and get that replaced, because it's just easier to do it now. And that drop is totally chewed to hell. And here we are on day 3 of changing drops. This project was supposed to be 2 days. Well, I kind of thought maybe 3, but 2 was my goal. It's 15 degrees right now, which is a little frosty, so I've got the winter gear on. I've got a few hours this morning, and I've got half a main and then a small main to finish up, and I'm done over there. I know I don't have enough dead end drops. I'm just waiting for more to come in so that I can make those up, but I want to get as much done as I can, because the projects need to get checked off, and this is one of them. To go back and change out a few dead ends, that'll be easy. So I'll get over there. No dog today. It's just it's cold, and he doesn't need to get covered in ice and everything else and get all nasty and then total my truck more than he already has. So get over there and we'll get these things changed this morning, because then hopefully this afternoon we'll get some other projects to take care of. This is the only section I've got left. I left off right here. You can see my pile of used drops. Everything above this is done. I just dropped these at the end because I knew I was starting here today, rather than lugging them all the way back up the hill. But everything from here down is what I need to do. So it's really 100 tops probably total. And there's a bunch of orange and pink drops already here. Probably to get to it because I got a meeting at 11 I got to get back for no matter what. So try and get this done before then. This main's done. Now all I've got left is that one main, and all those taps just go to the one side. They don't come this way. So that one will be a little bit quicker, but now I'm just gonna walk this line, pick up all these drops, and then I'll probably just go right from here. I won't move the four-wheeler and just get those ones done, because I think there's 30 on that one, maybe something like that. But for being cold, it hasn't been that bad to the point where I'm thinking about shedding a layer right now, but I didn't bring my vest and I'm not gonna freeze, so. Somehow this top of this dead thing here fell and landed straight down in between the mains, which is quite a feat without wrecking them. So I'll get this cleaned up. Just a little bit of sawdust in my eye. That feels awesome. And it didn't wreck anything when I did it, which was close at one point, but the trunk of this thing is still standing, and I'm not messing with it today because we'll just let this thing fall and do what it does, because it's not worth it today. There, it's like 9:45 right now, and I just finished up all the drops here, and these lines all look really good. So this is really ready to start tapping once I put the releaser in place and get the pump set. So I've got some other stuff to do today, but I don't got time to film. So we'll see you in the next one.